The biggest lie in the diabetes world is that carbohydrates are bad for you. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Now, there's two types of carbohydrates. There's the refined carbohydrates that you get from things like breads and tortilla chips and cookies and crackers and chips and pastas and breads and sodas. Then there's also the whole carbohydrates that you get from things like potatoes and apples and persimmons and sweet potatoes and beans and quinoa and other fruits. Now, the two types of carbohydrate are fundamentally different than one another because this form of carbohydrate has very little fiber in it. It's been processed significantly, and as a result of that, it's reduced in its vitamin, mineral, fiber, water, antioxidant, and phytochemical content. And as a result of that, when you eat refined carbohydrates, the glucose that's inside of these carbohydrate chains ends up getting inside of your small intestine and then getting inside of your blood very quickly. That causes a blood glucose rise that can turn into a blood glucose spike, and that can cause you to get frustrated because you make the association that carbohydrates are bad. If instead you eat a potato is a fundamentally different beast. And the reason for this is because this is a three-dimensional matrix that contains a significant amount of vitamins, minerals, fiber, water, antioxidants, and phytochemicals. The very things that were stripped from the tortilla chip are the very things that are inside of the potato. And when you think about it that way, what you'll realize is that by eating this guy, even though it does contain a lot of carbohydrate, this guy, when you eat it, it gets inside of your small intestine, and the glucose from these carbohydrate chains don't get into your blood very quickly. It takes time, and time is your friend. And as a result of that, your blood glucose will go up, but it'll go up very slowly. And as a result of that, your blood glucose control will be significantly improved. Now, the simplest thing that you can do to improve your blood glucose is do exactly what I'm suggesting here, which is limit or minimize your intake of these refined carbohydrates and start to increase more of these whole carbohydrates. But there's another X factor, which is dietary fat. And when you reduce your total dietary fat content to less than approximately 30 grams per day, that's when the magic happens. The magic is about the fat insulin connection. The more fat you consume, the worse your insulin resistance becomes. So if you were to lower your total fat intake to between 20 and 30 grams per day and keep it there for a 7-day period, just watch as your entire blood glucose control will change in a matter of days. To limit your fat intake, limit your intake of red meat, white meat, chicken, fish, eggs, dairy products, and also things like this, nut butters. Even though these are considered quote unquote healthy fats, limiting your intake of this is going to go a very, very long way. So if you can do that and reduce your intake of refined carbohydrates, eat more whole carbohydrates, but also bring your fat content down, just watch, your glucose control will be something that you've never seen or experienced before. If you're having trouble getting started and you want more information, comment the word guide below. We'll send you our free guide that'll teach you everything that you need to know in order to make this transition and start making it now. Hope this was helpful. We'll see you in the next video.